Hello everybody, my name is Troy Lindsay, and today you're going to be in the kitchen with Chef Troy. I have some exciting, wonderful dishes that I'm going to prepare for you today. I know that it's after the holidays, but still we like to eat good food year round, and so there's two things that I want to prepare. I know that everybody's had a lot of dressing, a lot of macaroni and cheese, but nobody, I promise you, nobody's had macaroni and cheese like macaroni and cheese I'm going to show you how to make today. I'm going to simplify it just a little bit because lots of times when you make macaroni and cheese, you make dressing, you mess up the kitchen with a whole lot of dishes, but I'm going to show you how to do these recipes simply and using one dish to prepare both of these dishes. And so with that, we want you to sit back, relax, and just watch me as I work. So the first dish that I'm going to do today is dressing with a twist. A lot of times there's so many recipes that people use for dressing. A lot of people put a lot of different things in their dressing. Some people put water chestnuts in it, some people put oysters in it, but no, today we're just going to keep it plain and simple and down home. And the only ingredient in terms of meat that I'm going to put in today is boneless, skinless chicken breast. Also, a lot of times people like to use old-fashioned cornbread for dressing. I like that sometimes, but what I really like that gives it a sweeter taste is if I use Jiffy cornbread, because that gives it a different twist, a different taste. As well, some people use for their croutons, and it saves time when you're doing that if you season croutons, but I'm going to use peppery farm, and you can get them in a lot of different flavors, just depends on your taste. You can find these at Kroger, Giant Eagle, Walmart. So the stuff I'm going to use today is easy to find. Also, I save a lot of time when I don't have to chop a lot of peppers and onions, and so I use the prepackaged frozen. It tastes just as good when you dress it up and you season it right. The key to everything that you do obviously is the way that you season it, so I use that. Also, there's a twist that you're seeing more and more of, but I tell you, it just adds a whole lot to your dressing when you use this, because when you use cream of chicken soup, and you can use any brand, Walmart brand, Giant Eagle brand, today I'm using Giant Eagle brand, you don't need any gravy when you use cream of chicken soup. It gives it that moistness. In terms of other seasonings that I use, I think simpler is better. I don't like to use a lot of salt when I cook for obvious reasons, for health reasons, for just the taste of salt. I'm very salt sensitive personally, so I don't use a lot of salt. And so the other seasonings that you use, just trying to keep it simple. I use garlic powder, good old sage, because that really gives your dressing a real good flavor when you use sage. And just, see, I'm going to use just a little bit of seasoning salt, just a little, just a pinch, so that it gives it kind of a flavor, but it's not overpowering with the salt. And then I use good old butter, as we use in everything, so we use that, and also eggs. And so you can obviously get eggs wherever night. I just keep them in the carton. I don't leave them out overnight or anything like that for this dish. I just crack them as I use them. And so there we go. That's where the journey begins with the dressing. So I'm going to show you how to put this together quickly and simply so that it doesn't take a lot of time. So I'm going to start with my broth. I make my own broth. I don't buy store broth, and it's easier when you make your own broth. And so I use, again, the three color pepper blend of the peppers and onions in the process. So that's what it kind of looks like when you put that in the pan. Also, to make my broth, what I use again is my chicken breast. So my boneless, skinless chicken breast. That's what makes it easy. That's what flavors it, and that's what gives you that broth thickness that you like. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. And so I'm going to use 3, and I say that because I'm going to put this chicken as well. Once it's used for the broth, I'm going to put this in the dressing, which gives it a fantastic taste. So I come from a long family of cooks and from the South, and you know that they don't measure anything. And so I don't, unless I have a recipe for something, I never really ever measure anything. So I'm going to use the garlic powder. And so I'm just going to put it in until it looks seasoned to taste, because you really can't go wrong with garlic powder because there's no salt taste to it. And so it's just going to flavor it and enhance it. Of course, good old-fashioned, simply sage. It gives dressing a taste that just kind of makes it comfort food and makes it good. So I put in my sage, I put in my garlic powder, and now once I said before, you want to use just a little bit of seasoned salt, just enough to give it some flavor, but not to make it salty. And so, and then it's simply, I'm just going to add some water, enough water that it's going to be good to boil. And then I'm not going to boil out, I'm going to have enough for the moisture for the dressing when I put it actually together. So I know I said that I don't measure, but I'm going to come up with some just for your comfort and so that you can actually make this. You don't have to keep going back to the video per se. So my measurements will be in the comment section of this video so that you can have that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my broth on, and you don't want to cook it too high, but you want to put it like probably at 5 or 6. Most stoves have numbers, so I put it like on 6, between 6 and 7. That'll get it really boiling for me. All the way for my cornbread in the oven. We're going to wait on that just for a minute. Anybody who is from Ohio or northwestern Ohio is familiar with the Lindsay family. We are known for cooking and cooks. It all started with my mom. She was a very good cook, and she taught us boys and girls how to cook. And so everything that we do when we get together, you know, is a variation of something that she's taught us through the years. You know, it seems like a competition when we get together, but it is just outrageous the amount of food that we have at family gatherings, and everybody's welcome. So if you're ever in Northwestern Ohio, look up the Lindsays, everybody knows us. So like I said, I use Jiffy cornbread because I personally like the sweet taste that it does, but I don't let it cook. I let it get a little brown under, but I don't let it get all the way brown on the top because I want it to be kind of pliable. Not only that, crumble it up. Everybody's got their own little pet peeves, but a lot of times people take their hands and do that, but that's just not something that I prefer to do. I got one of those quirky things about putting my hands in food. I don't really like to do that. So I just kind of break it up with the spoon. And you break it up kind of fine. It doesn't have to be like totally fine because again, the moistness is going to even break it up just a little bit more. So then once again, I said you can use any kind of croutons that you please. This is a classic stuffed crouton from Pepperidge Farm actually that I'm going to use. And since I have such a small pan, I'm just going to start with like half of this bag and then I'll put it all in right now. So we'll see if we actually need more. I'm just going to kind of like spread that and mix it in. And then once again, my cream of chicken soup. You can get like the big can, or if you prefer to, depending on the size of the pan of dressing that you're making. So, but today I have 2 small ones. Often I get 1 big one for a pan. And I kind of like to also kind of rinse the can just to make sure I get all of my soup out of the can. There we go. So I'm going to kind of like mix that while I'm kind of still waiting on my broth to cook. And again, I'm going to add just a little bit more garlic powder to this. I know I put some in the broth, but I want to add a little bit more. I'm not going to add any more salt, but I will put some of that. And then I'm going to add just a little bit more sage to this. Sometimes those little holes don't kind of get out as much as you'd like, so kind of take it off and shake it. So I'm also going to take a stick of butter I'm going to melt this stick of butter. And what the butter does, it adds flavor, but it also is going to add a certain kind of richness to it that I think that you will enjoy if you make this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 stick of butter. And mix that in real good. Our broth is ready and our chicken is ready as well. I'm going to take the chicken breast out and separate that from the rest of the broth. And now, once again, remember I have my green peppers, my onions in here, and the chicken breast is made of good broth, and so I just kind of pour stir. I had a little bit of croutons left just to absorb some of the broth. I put that in as well. So you can't put too much in. And as you're doing this, you will see that the dressing mixture absorbs the water pretty quickly. So that's why I usually make so much broth, because I don't want to make it too much, but then I don't want to make it dry either. So just go ahead, and sometimes you can over pour, it's not going to hurt it. That one little bit, because it's going to actually absorb the juice or the broth. So next I'm going to add, same way, some eggs. So I think with this mixture I'm going to add probably 6 eggs, because that's what I have left. So I'm going to put all 6 in. Mix those in real good before they start clumping. For the remainder of the broth, just to make sure you don't lose any of your green pepper and your onion, you drain the rest of your broth and just pour those in, because that's going to add flavor to your dressing. Also give it a lot of color. So mix that real good. Still see some of that egg. You want to make sure that you're mixing that. One more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to melt this last stick of butter, and what that's going to do is that's going to add brownness to this once you bake it. And here we go. I'm going to pour this butter over the top, and this is going to brown up real good when the dressing is ready to go. So I'm going to add the final ingredient, which is the chicken breast. So, if you don't like a lot of meat and you don't have to have a lot of side meat, this would be great, because your chicken or turkey or whatever kind of meat you use to make your broth is already in the dressing. So I'm going to add that. So that's it. That is the final ingredient. I'm going to smooth that over. I'm going to stick this in the oven with the macaroni and cheese on 350 for about 45 minutes to an hour or two, when it cooks up and it actually looks like cornbread, because that's what it's going to resemble when it's done. The second dish I said I was going to make for you is macaroni and cheese. It is kind of like my own version of macaroni and cheese that I just kind of started adding things to over the years, sometimes by mistake, and it turned out good, and I just kept it. So you want to kind of check this out and see if you like it. It is creamy, of the creamiest macaroni and cheese that you will ever have in your life. So of course we start with macaroni, and it's just regular elbow macaroni. Sometimes I'll say the cheaper the better. It really doesn't matter. I'm using Barilla if you have that in your area. It's a real good macaroni to use. And then I add 2 sticks of butter. Now, as you might cringe when you see me adding 2 sticks of butter, This is not a recipe that you want to use every day, eat every week. You want to reserve this for special occasions and special holidays because it is quite rich and it is absolutely unhealthy. So then I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And just a little bit of seasoning salt because I don't like, again, for it to be salty. And plus, cheese adds a lot of salt and sodium to the food and also to the taste. So I'm just going to use enough just to say that I have some in there really. So I'm going to stir that in real good. Mix that. Next I'm going to add my sour cream, and this is the size that I use based on the pan. So everything is based on the pan size pan that you use. So for I believe this is 9 by 9, I want to say. You want to use a smaller one. If you use a bigger pan, you probably want to use a larger tub of sour cream. This is 16 ounces of sour cream that I'm putting in. So I'm going to add that in. Next I'm going to use the cheese. Again, the kind of cheese that I like to use so I don't have to buy a whole bunch of different kinds. It's some sort of blend. So some call it Fiesta blend, some call it Mexican blend. Whatever cheeses you really like, you can put together 3 or 4 of your choice, or I like to just get it all in one bag. That way I don't have to buy a whole bunch of different bags of cheese. So I'm going to put my cheese in, start with a small bag. And again, I like a lot, and I'll say it again, a lot of cheese. In my macaroni and cheese, I want to know that cheese is in it. So again, this one is actually called Fiesta blend. And again, you can purchase this at Walmart, at Giant Eagle. Walmart has something called Mexican blend that you can use as well. I'm going to put that cheese in there like that. And one of the twists that I use for this macaroni and cheese actually is buttermilk. So I use buttermilk, I don't use regular milk. It makes it rich. Oh my goodness, it's rich. Look at that. This is where it gets kind of tough. Depends on the kind of spoon that you have. And so instead of battling with it, what I will do is I will begin to mix my eggs in because that'll loosen up and that'll make it easier for me to stir. A lot of people crack all their eggs, mix them up. It's a matter of choice. I really don't do that. I just make sure that I blend them in really well. And so I really do watch and make sure that I'm not putting any shells or anything like that in. I'm going to start with 6 eggs and we'll see what happens. I think 6 eggs is plenty for a pan this size. If you don't mix your eggs real good, what'll happen is you'll get clumps of eggs which you don't want in your macaroni and cheese. And so I'll make sure that I mix it real good. So let's go ahead and add, wow, the rest of this cheese. Wow, look at that. And I'm using 32 ounce, and then the first bag I just only put in was an 8 ounce. If I'm making a big pan, I would usually use 2 32 ounces automatically, and I'll put both of those in. So I'm gonna mix it, making sure that everything is covered. So then you want to smooth it over the top. And then it's ready to go in the oven. So I'm making it like 350 for about a pan this size. It may take about 45 minutes to an hour. When it's brown on top and it's bubbling on top, you can usually tell that it is done. So There is my cheesy macaroni and cheese. It's going in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes. We'll check on it in a half hour and we'll see how done it is. Well, we just took the macaroni and cheese out of the oven. It doesn't look absolutely lovely. It's, again, you gotta be careful and watch it real closely so that you don't overcook it and it doesn't get like burned on top or anything like that. So it looks like it's done. And so we're going to see how it tastes. So we're gonna taste this just to see how this came out. Wow. You want to try this recipe? You will not be unsatisfied. Absolutely delicious. We're gonna check on this dressing in a minute and we're gonna see how that came out. And now we're gonna try the dressing. It just came out of the oven. It doesn't look absolutely beautiful. Wow. So we're gonna see how it tastes. Might be a little hot, so you might want to. I gotta take another one of them. Absolutely wonderful. I have no doubt that if you try these two recipes, macaroni and cheese and dressing, that you will be happy with it. Thank you for being in the kitchen with Chef Troy today. See you next time.